if you take an MO, so you have MOA. So if you look on here, you have 0, and then you have 1. That's 1 MOA. Then you have 4 marks in between here. These are called arc minutes. You have 4 arc minutes per MOA. So at 100 yards, 1 MOA is going to be 1 inch, which means each arc minute is 1/4 inch. At 200 yards, 1 MOA is going to be 2 inches. So this same one right here, at 1 inch at 100 yards becomes 2 inches at 200 yards. Each arc minute in between becomes a 1/2 inch. 300 yards, 1 MOA is 3 inches. 400 yards, 1 MOA is 4 inches. And then basically all you're doing is you're timesing the first, like 2 times 1 is 2, and then 3 times 1 is 3. So it's your inches change, but then you have to divide that by 4. So if you're setting at 400 yards and you have 1 MOA is 4 times 1.
4 times. Yeah.
So 1 inch is 4 inches.
Yeah.
So then you have 4 arc minutes in that MOA. So each one of these, whenever you adjust that, is 1 inch. And it just goes up and up and up. Milliradians, you have from here to here is 1 milliradian. And then you have 10 mils in between. So basically, so whenever if I'm at 100 yards, then 1 milliradian, 1 milliradian is 1 centimeter. And it's basically, it's 1/3 of an inch is what is really, it's 2.54 inches. But every time you go out 200 yards, it's 2 centimeters. And it's 300 yards, it's 3 centimeters. And then whenever you do your centimeters, you divide that by 10. So basically all you're doing is you're moving your decimals. It's not as fine, there's not as much fine adjustment as there is with an MOA, because basically it's in thirds instead of quarters. But it's easier to work with, and you can actually convert it. Everybody goes, well, and it's not really, it's not imperial, and it's not metric. But it's easier to associate it with metric because it's a base 10. It has 10 adjustments in it for each milliradian. Whereas metric is in tens too. And then all you got to do is move decimals. But you can still look at it and you know, if you had a tape measure and it was in inches, it was imperial and it wasn't metric, you look at it and I mean, you know, there's 2.54 centimeters in 1 inch. Yeah. So then you just do your conversions off of that. But I keep this so I know that my 0, okay, and everything is all zeroed up. I'm setting at 200 yards. And I've got my stops back on 0. So then I go from there and I've got 300 yards. So I know I adjust up 1.2 mils.
Yeah.
400 yards, come up 2.2. 500, I just did it, and I'll come up 3.8. But I can also, if I don't want to adjust and I'm shooting on the fly, and I see what's out there, and I guess my yardage, then you have hash marks inside there. high elevation, you get into like humidity, all kinds of shit, barometric pressure.
There you go.
You want to shoot this?
Maybe later, yeah. After you're done explaining this, I'm taking notes.
Huh?
I'm taking notes.
You're taking notes?
Yeah.
But then you get into, so you're shooting on a day, like today. And you particularly know that we're shooting and we have a 10 mile an hour. Like I need to get me another anemometer, but I can come on here and I go to my weather. So that mark right here where that centered at, that's that tree down there. So now look at it. So north is that away. So I know that we have a 10 mile an hour crosswind coming at 90 degrees right across us. The most vulnerable part. I mean, whenever you're shooting, if you have a 90-degree crosswind, that's when it's going to push the bullet the hardest. So, I mean, I know right now, that's why I'm not sticking with my windage right now. Like, I'm leaving it where it's at. But we have a tree line here, so it's going to break our wind just a little bit.
Yeah.
But you're still susceptible to gusts. The gusts are what kill you. If you have a steady wind, and it's just blowing steady 10 miles an hour all the time, then it's easier to figure out where you need to hold at, or whenever you adjust, then you know that you can write down on here. You can go, okay, well, at 300 yards, with a 10 mile an hour wind at 90 degrees, then I need to hold left, 5 mils. So you can either adjust it here and you'll do 5 clicks, or you hold over half a hash mark.
Yeah.
So just figuring out that way, because when you're shooting a target that's still like a person, they don't move very fast. Most people are between 5.5 and 6 foot tall. They're like, unless they're turned sideways, like you're gonna hit something. Coyotes, pigs, they're moving 15, 20, 25 miles an hour. They're small. And you're trying to shoot one at 300 yards when it's running. That's a hard shot. And then two, if you don't have time really, whenever you drive up on a coyote, it's going to be moving 9 times out of 10 immediately. You don't have time to get your rangefinder out. Okay, yeah, I'm sitting at 250 yards. Well, by the time you get everything lined back up and you get ready to go, that thing may be at 300 yards.
Yeah.
And it's either moving away from you, it's moving sideways from you. Like you got to figure out exactly a lot of things with your gun and your scope and what it can do to be able to just drive up on it. You see it moving, you go, shit, it's like about 300 yards. And then I know, okay, well, I got to hold at 1.2, 300 yards. That's not even taking into account into crosswind or anything else that could be happening. Because we're sitting here in one spot and we're shooting in a stationary spot, as far as lined up north to south. We could be shooting at any angle there is out there, or whatever you're shooting at, that's a relatively small target that is moving 10 times faster than what a person can move.
Yeah. Well, if you shot ahead of your target and all that.
What's that?
Well, if you shot ahead, as they're moving, you shot in front of them.
I've done that. I've shot them behind the ears, rolled them. A lot of times though, I'm just looking for a body shot, just to slow them down.
Yeah.
If I can get a body shot on them, to get them to slow down, not even stop moving, just slow down, so I can catch them and finish them. Or if I know that hey, if they get to, as soon as they get to the other coyotes, they're gonna attack them and kill them anyways.
Yeah.
But again, too, you got to take into account too. When you hand load, you know how much powder and then the weight of your bullet. So, like I said, with a heavier bullet, 200 grain bullet, yes, it's going to drop faster the further you get out. But whenever you're in a crosswind, it's going to hold more steady. And it's funny too, because like you have to look at the BCs, the ballistic coefficients on a bullet. The higher the number is, the more slip, more aerodynamic that bullet is. So these heavier bullets are longer. So you got boat tails. It's like these bullets here. Like that bullet seats down that far down in the casing because that thing is that long. When we get back to the house, we're gonna reload some of these rounds. I'm running low on 208 grain bullets, so we're gonna do us up a batch when we get back.
Nice.
But the heavier the bullet is, the more ballistic coefficient it has. Then whenever you're going down range and you're trying to shoot long ways, long distance, yes, it's going to drop faster, but it's going to stay more stable, and it's going to stay straighter and truer and not veer in a wind like this. Because it doesn't seem like much, but 10 mile an hour crosswind, that's getting up there. And if you don't have a tree break, like that's taking some of that wind off of us. Like we're not catching the whole brunt of that 10. You got gaps in the trees and stuff. So that air movement is concentrating flow through some of these gaps. That's whenever you get your gust created. So that thing can be going and it's getting a steady wind from the side, and all of a sudden it gets a gust and it will push it. Because the gust is going to blow harder. So you may be getting a steady 10, but when you get a gust, that may be a 10 to 20. So that's going to push that bullet over harder. But next time you shoot, you may not get a gust.
Yeah.
So you're sitting there looking at it and you're like, oh shit, I'm way to the right. And then you shoot again and you compensated for it. You may be way to the left because there's no consistency between point A and point B, and it's such a long distance.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah.
I'm really wanting to see what we can do today here.
Indeed.
I think we should go through the gates, and I think we should. I've got some 125s in here. I'm really curious to see like how far off they do here. I've got some other loads that I did that. They have different kinds of bullets too, like different brands, manufacturers. These are Sierra match points.
Yeah, it's because of the plastic tip.
Well, so but these are hollow points. So these polymer tips are just here to give that bullet a higher BC instead of it hitting that hollow point. And it makes it less stable, gives it less slip, it has more drag.
Yeah.
So they started manufacturing these polymer tips. So we're gonna shoot this one, and I guarantee you it's probably gonna not even hit target, because when I aim for the same spot, it's gonna be a lot higher, but it's gonna drift.
Yeah.
And honestly, taking a pot shot first time with untested ammo, 500 yards. Kind of wasting ammo. want to see. We'll get closer.
In the name of curiosity.
Aim the far bottom left. I'm just gonna get closer. Oh! Whenever I was so mad. I was showing you about memories, I forgot I zeroed my scope back out.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I feel like I heard something, but I don't know.
Aim low again. Closer. This is not a day for this.
Yeah. A tad windy. Yep.
These are only like they're only like 125 grain. Can't remember. I just had some, and I don't know what the hell I was gonna. I think I was gonna load them in my 300 blackout.
Yeah.
Which is still even too light for my blackout. I mean, it's still for the life of me can't remember one until I even bought them.
Yeah. Honestly, I thought that the hollow point would have been. Were you using Full Metal Jacket last time, or were you also using hollow point?
It's still the same polymer tip.
Oh, alright. I was like, I would have expected that to be louder, but it sounded the same.
Well, that doesn't like the bullet itself doesn't affect the loudness. It's the type of powder and how much powder you can use.
Yeah, I just like whenever I was shooting my 22, like, and I was using the hollow points, it was louder for some reason, but.
So now I see I'm dead over just about. About 9 mil high. Again, this is a lighter bullet, so this is my 0 with a 208 grain bullet.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to 125. My drop isn't going to be as much, so I'm actually going to adjust my scope down. I'm going to go down to 8.
Dud. That one.
It was dead nuts.
So you got him in his nuts?
No. Dead center.
Oh. Crabapple eating cow. I think she got her fill of crab apples.
She ate every one of them that was on the ground. There ain't none left, so.
Gross.
What?
Don't like. Oh, wait. Ah. Is my face getting sunburned?
They're ejecting. It's kind of. I don't know. I just need to clean it a little bit.
Kind of whack.
They're hanging just a little bit. There should be 3 damn near right on top of each other.